So,
There it is.
so today I'm with Charlotte Fitzgerald. And if you're not seen already, Charlotte has been our collective member of the week this week. And it's just been really great to have you here. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm honoured that to have had the week to share a little bit about myself and what I do with you lovely ladies.
Well,
It's been interesting.
The thing is, you do so much for so many people. Like you're teaching Pilates, you're teaching about loving your pelvic floor, and you really know your stuff as well. We've spoken before at length about failing and failure. So if you're watching this, and you feel like you've failed or, you've had some failings or failure or anything like that, watch this, because Charlotte, is like literally overcome so much just to get to where she is right now. Like you've really deep dived into your work and you've really specialized in Pilates, but you specialize even more so within the pelvic floor and breathing and how, how maybe your pelvic floor may be overactive at times, or how it may be underactive at times as well. Yeah. And you really help people get a real firm knowledge of what's going on in that area of their body, because that is like sacral chakra work. That
is. It is.
Yeah. And that's then connected to creativity, money manifesting. So it's actually all connected to that. So it's going to be really great chat today to even talk. And we just chat shit about anything else as well, because we'll talk about because that's what me and Charlotte do. We always talk about all sorts of stuff. So if you want to say, please do say hi. Click on the StreamYard link above so we can see like your name on here. Or we can like say hi to you. But yes, Charlotte, tell us, obviously we've seen your post during this week and everything, but tell us a little bit more about why you got into what you're doing now.
So, well, it's a long story. It backs back because obviously it's just crazy. And I was actually having a discussion with someone yesterday. So my background is in retail. So for me to then completely up and change career, go into Pilates, and then to specialize into pelvic floor is just nuts. Like it blows my mind. Last night I was sitting there, I was just like, my mind is actually blown with how far I've come. And like you said, the personal development I've had to go through. I've had struggles in my personal life. I've had struggles with my mindset. Lack of belief in myself. I've suffered from anxiety and depression before. Do you know what I mean? So it's all happened. It's all happened. Even just before the lockdown, I got moved to a completely new area, into a completely new house. I then had to take all my classes online. So do you know what I mean? It's just been nuts. I can't even begin to think. Like, if I think about it, I'm just like, how has this even happened? How am I still here? How have I survived all of this stuff? Obviously, I know it's for a reason. But yeah, to specialize in the pelvic, obviously I love Pilates and I'm really passionate about Pilates, but to specialize in the pelvic floor and to actually see and hear the results from women that are doing the 4-week course is just crazy. Like it blows my mind how many women don't actually know about, like you said, like this really important area for females. We grow babies in there. Do you know what I mean? It's a really sacred spot and we just don't even look after it because we're just not educated about it at all. So some women, I'm giving them education in their 40s and their 50s, and they've been dealing with this forever, the symptoms. And often, we don't know that there's an issue until there are some symptoms. And it's mad to think how normalized it's become to have those symptoms and to live with those symptoms.
Yeah.
And no one ever tells anybody that you can sort it out. Yes, they say, oh, do your pelvic floor exercises, but no one tells you how you should be doing your pelvic floor exercises.
Absolutely. I think we've had this chat before, haven't we? Like tell a lady you're doing a massive disservice to every single woman. And I've even gone onto their website to go and actually have a look at, their website, see what's actually going on. What are they teaching on their website? So if you're just joining us, we're talking about pelvic floors at this moment in time. Are you weeing yourself at this moment in time? Maybe you jump up and down and all of a sudden, you've had a little bit of a gush. but ten lady in particular are doing a massive disservice. And I had a look at their website and the exercises that they were doing for it, and the exercises don't even cover what could happen. I mean, like, I bet you've had conversations with physios before about this and stuff, and we're all saying the same thing. We're all singing from the same hymn sheet, that a lot of it can literally be sorted out. It can be sorted out.
85% of symptoms can be rectified by doing your pelvic floor exercises and the strengthening exercises in that area, because it obviously, not only is your pelvic floor there, you've got your glutes, you've got all the surrounding muscles that attach, so all of that stuff will get affected. It will either affect the pelvic floor, or it will all contribute towards it. And obviously balance, posture, your breath. Obviously, I've been speaking about some of that stuff on my personal page, about breathing, and something so simple that we do all day, every day. It keeps us alive. People are not doing it right. They're not doing it right at all. And some people really struggling. So they've got into such a pattern of such a bad habit of breathing that when you actually educate them on how they should be doing it, so the pelvic floor can naturally react, they can't do it. It's mad, because they've just got into such a habit of doing it. And to be honest, I'm quite guilty that I used to be terrible when it came to breathing. I never like my tummy never expanded. Do you know what I mean? It never happened. And then obviously when I've gone through all the training and stuff, I'm like, right. So it's been a massive eye opener for me. So it's not even like I can say I was perfect when I started. I had issues. I had incontinence issues. I had posture issues. I had issues with my breath. And it's rectified those things for me as well. So I'm coming from a background of, I've dealt with it. And I'm not just saying, like, it's not just something I teach or preach. It's something that I've actually had to overcome myself. Because I suffer from incontinence. I was trying to do my pelvic floor exercises incorrectly. Again, because anyone just tells you just to draw up. You don't know where you're drawing up from. You don't know if you're squeezing your buttocks, drawing your abdominals in at the same time, which is then not going to isolate the pelvic floor group, which then you think you're doing yourself a service, but you're not. Because if you're not doing it correctly, you might as well not be doing it. Do you get what I mean? If you've got those bigger group muscles trying to get in on the act, then you're not isolating the pelvic floor. And again, that's something that a lot of women struggle with. But yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing for me to see the results that women are getting just by educating them and just kind of really stripping it back. Certain exercises we do, obviously, there's a lot of functional exercises within the program as well that allows you to feel how the pelvic floor reacts in different positions. So some positions you won't feel it as much. Other positions you'll feel it more towards the front passage. Other positions you'll feel it more towards the back passage. And it's just really kind of getting women to be more aware of that, even using touch, closing their eyes, so they can really, really connect. Because with some people, there really is that kind of mind-body disconnect. It's just not there. So even people could really try and engage their pelvic floor, but because the muscles are just pretty much non-existent for them, you've got to kind of, get them back in touch with their body and how it should naturally be reacting. So it's been a massive eye-opener.
But the thing is, it happens all over the body as well. That it's just not the pelvic, it's not just the pelvic floor, isn't it? It's also the glutes. A lot of my clients I work with on like sleepy glutes and stuff like that. And and also the abdominals. And it can also, like, say childbirth is like a massive turning point. Maybe even if it's not childbirth, maybe it's an accident or something, or maybe that's happened, or a memory or something. Trauma comes into this as well for a lot of people. And the brain then just wants to go and switches off.
It does. And that's where so many women are just having that disconnect, because again, like you said, that it could be any kind of because a lot of people assume that it is just childbirth, but even if symptoms are left or there hasn't been any symptoms, any weakness will then come to light during perimenopause and menopause as well. So I don't think there's any woman that is immune from incontinence or anything like that. Because if your whole life, if you've never done a pelvic floor contraction, you're going to have issues later on in life. Because I think I spoke about it the other day in one of my posts, lives, I don't know. I was speaking so much at the moment, I don't know where I did. So every 10 years, our muscle mass deteriorates by 5%. So regardless whether you've had any issues, whether you've had children or not had children, your muscles are getting weaker, whether you like it or not. And the tissue is getting thinner. So again, if you're not doing any exercises in that area, you are going to face problems. And every woman is going to, and men as well. This is the thing. It's not just women, it's men as well. Absolutely. We're all going to face problems. It's the same with age. Everything deteriorates with age if you in general, but if you look after it, then at least you can kind of add a few more years to the deterioration. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Because we never, the thing is, and I'm sure you've had calls like this before. And what I've noticed is no one's really kind of bothered in, like doing anything about the body. If we mention you're going to die or something like that, no one, until it starts to happen, until you start to deteriorate, the thing that really,
until their back's against the wall, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, until we get triggered the most. Honestly, even I've been in this position as well. It's not just me, Charlotte as well. No, it's not until the point where something happens. Sometimes that's when we do something about it. Yeah. That's when we actually do something about it. But what Charlotte's trying to do is sort something out before you even get to that point. That's all both of us want to do. We want to help you, like, kind of listen in and tune, because that's what it is. You're listening in and tuning in and feeling it out. What does your body want? What does your body want? And then from my point of view, I turn it into what are the narratives that are stopping you from doing that? But you bring it so beautiful and tie it in. You have so much wealth of knowledge about how to feel it, what's going on, where's the feeling coming from. So beautiful. And I'm so glad you're doing this as well and teaching classes this, because the thing is, the more women that see this, and I know that some of the women in this group have actually gone to go and find you, Yeah. I think someone's asked about classes as well, the classes that you do. Yeah. And I think that this is really, really important, that we hear this work that's going on at this moment in time. Because
get back in touch with our bodies. I think we need, as women as well, we need to have that confidence in our body that it's going to be able to react when we need it. And whether that's through Pilates, whether that's through pelvic floor, again, don't wait until something happens for you to take action. Just plan for it, because eventually something is going to happen and you want your body to be able to respond, because we only get one body and we want it to support us with anything that we need. Anything that you do for your body and kind of exercise that will improve, again, like I was saying, your posture, your breath, your circulation, your immunity, it all has a knock-on effect. Do you know what I mean? You're not just doing the exercise just for that. It helps the body get rid of toxins because you're moving it, your increased heart rate, increased breath. It has, the benefits are just unlimited. There's so many benefits to looking after yourself and just taking that time, that self-care is so important. Again, that then feeds into your mindset as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I
mean? Absolutely. And the thing is, then you're lining up your chakras. So if you're quite spiritually connected, which many of the women in this group are, you're lining up your chakras as well. So you're in even more of alignment. And, it's even going to help you with your purpose even more. Because the more that you are in align with yourself, the less confused that you are, because everything can move about and you can move freely. And
the energy is free to flow then, isn't it? To where it needs to go.
And you kind of know exactly what to do, when to do it. But it's a process, isn't it? It takes time. It takes time to kind of learn and master and get through. But those processes are just have so many, so many big advantages to us.
Well, that's the thing, because obviously for me, like I touched upon, my background was in retail. But when I went into Pilates, I didn't know anything. I didn't listen in science class. Come on. Do you know what I mean? I was not listening in science. So for me, anatomy and physiology, I started from zero. I had no idea. I just wanted to teach Pilates. That's all I wanted to do. And then I had to learn about anatomy and physiology. And I was just like, what the hell have I signed up for? Because it's so intense. And just to think that I've actually got my 5-year anniversary is coming up this month. So I've been teaching Pilates for 5 years. So that was the first time that I first taught. Obviously, I was learning way before then, but the first Pilates class I ever held was on the 12th of April.
Yay!
And I'm like, oh my God. So it's all those things. So when you start out, you're like, no one's going to take me seriously. Look, I've only been doing a couple of months. I've only been doing a year. Now it's almost half a decade. Like, really? How? And then obviously transitioning into the pelvic floor, which obviously I qualified for, I think, last July. So that's almost coming up to a year as well. You're like, what?
It's like,
and it just goes to show that, you know, if you put enough effort into something, it does come through. Do you know what I mean? And I've literally ridden the roller coaster. I've had the moments where I've not put in the activity I've needed to. I've had the moments where I've not studied enough. I've had the moments where I've not believed in myself. Do you know what I mean? But I'm transitioning. I am transitioning and I am growing. And the more people I help, the more obviously confident I am in my own ability.
Yeah.
You know, when you get those results, these are living results like that women are having. And it's just amazing to see week from week the difference that they're having just by being given that knowledge. This is the thing that I touched upon yesterday, that we've just got so much knowledge around us and we're not even using it. It just goes over our head because there's so much. But when we kind of strip it back and we make it about us and improving ourselves, that's when you can kind of utilize it to your advantage, because it's just, it's amazing.
And that's the thing about, you know, exercise and stuff. And like, I don't know how you feel, but how do you feel about, because there's a lot of, you know, challenges going on at this moment in time, squat challenges, ab challenges. I know where my stance is on this, but, you know, and obviously this is going to be a deep conversation now, because it's quite, you know, they're from quite well-meaning charities as well. But I'm getting people coming to see me and they've got knee issues, back issues, you know, pelvic floor issues, like the whole shebang is starting to happen, because they're doing like maybe 200 squats a day, 1,000 squat. I've done 1,000. I don't even know. I couldn't even do 1,000 squats in a day. Do you know what I mean?
You know, I actually have to admit something. So before I was teaching, this probably in my early 20s, I was doing 300 squats a day, right? So 150 in the morning, 150 in the evening. Badly. So not in the correct form whatsoever. And I think it actually contributed to the knee problems that I have now.
And
because I wasn't doing it properly and there was no education towards it. And it's also the same thing that horrifies me. Obviously, you've got different things on social media and stuff, but when I see people lifting a lot of weight, and there is no core engagement whatsoever, and you're just like, oh my God, I'm horrified, because I'm like, you are screwing up your back without even realizing, because you're not going to necessarily feel it there and then. And then also you've got to factor in, if there's no engagement here, it's going into your pelvic floor. So any intra-abdominal pressure increase goes into your pelvic floor.
Absolutely. And that's why you might be finding that you are, you know, that you're leaking, you know, when you're lifting and stuff. And this is the thing, like, because, you know, one of the things I used to teach is not to be afraid of lifting heavier. But if you are going to lift heavy, you have to make sure your body is in the position to lift that kind of weight. And it's almost like, you know, like if you were doing a squat, what will happen is your knees will start to kind of like move and they'll wobble and things.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do this as well, Charlotte. Like you check someone's squat position as they're squatting.
Yeah. I also say to them, make sure the weight's going through your heels and not into your knees, because people will automatically, because obviously I've got people of different ages. So I've actually got like some ladies that are in their 60s and their 70s. They do squats. They'll do squats. But obviously they have to do it within their control. Yeah. But it's very easy if you don't watch them, that they are going to go into the knees. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of watch out points that I have to give. I'm constantly giving watch out points. And obviously more so now I'm incorporating the pelvic floor into my Pilates. So certain things, so like a squat, you make sure you're not bearing down into the pelvic floor, you're drawing up. Obviously, if the body will naturally react with the pelvic floor. But if there's a weakness there, you might want to give it a little helping hand. Do you know what I mean? Just a little draw up. You might not feel it, but then you'll feel the relax. And then that's something that I teach my ladies. So you might not necessarily feel the body naturally contract, but then when you relax it, you'll realize that there was a contraction there. But yeah, it's just having that knowledge. And yeah, like it makes me laugh because I've, again, previously, before I was teaching, done abs challenges, I've done squat challenges, I've done all of those challenges. But I also can remember that my back was not correct. I, feeling the strain in my lower back and feeling like my back was hurting after I've done it. Again, because you're just given a sheet of paper saying you need to be doing this amount of squats and this amount of abs every day. That's it. There's no guidance to say, okay, if you're feeling it in your lower back, you need to shift and change and all this sort of stuff. It's mad. It's mad. But it makes me laugh because I've done it all. And this is where I'm coming from, a good place. Yeah. Because I've done it. Yeah. And that I can give those watch out points more so because I felt it and I felt the after effects of doing it incorrectly as well.
And that's the thing, when you do those exercises incorrectly, you do feel it and you do get some like really, they can be turned into like major issues. And like possibly me and you teach stuff like this because like these major issues, they're not just, like you're going to be maybe in pain for a week. You could be in pain for like a long time afterwards.
Oh, wait, you then need physio and then someone would get referred to me to do Pilates.
Exactly.
Because they won't keep up their physio. So this is why no matter what kind of exercises you're doing, what kind of fitness you're doing, I would recommend doing Pilates as well, because it gives you that body awareness. It will teach you a little bit about your pelvic floor. It will teach you about having that center core. Keep looking at your shoulders, the lengthen through your spine. There's so many prompts that I give, even imprinting the spine so that the lower back that doesn't take the strain. There's so many things that can help you, and then you can then take it to complement the other exercises that you're doing, because you'll become more aware. I've had so many people that will say to me, when they're doing exercises or they're doing Pilates in their own time, not in a class, they say, I literally can hear you in my head telling me to put my shoulders down and to do this, like, because it's just second nature for them now. I don't teach
classes anymore, but I've even been told this before. Like, I can hear you just telling me, keep your feet on the ground, make sure your feet are in the right position. Because I even get like really kind of like, how are your feet? Where are your feet placed? What are you doing with your feet? And what are you doing with the rest of your body? And everyone's like going, when I do like something else, I can like literally hear you. And it's so it's beautiful, isn't it, when you hear that? Because I mean, obviously, as I said, I don't teach classes anymore, but you know what?
Well, it goes to show we've left our imprint on them.
Oh, you know what?
Forever.
A kettlebell at my head once, but I truly believe, like there's like a like how you think about mind, body, and spirit. I always think about this in exercises: cardio, weights, and your like your functional fitness, or like your Pilates, or just doing something that's a bit more kind of core engaged and moving. Yeah. And I always kind of feel like, the body, mind and soul to those 3 exercises, because they all do different things. They all have a difference in what they do. You know, cardio obviously works on your respiratory system. You got your weight training that works obviously bones and muscles to kind of like give you, like, pull you up, even, like kind of not big structure, but it does do. Yeah, it gets metabolism going. And then you've got like Pilates that kind of like just ties it all in.
Yeah.
And ties everything in and gets all like the little nooks and crannies.
Gets all those little bits. So then, so it's not just those bigger muscles that are contracting. You've got, you know, the smaller groups. And I found, because I was speaking to a lady last night when I was teaching her, and I said, oh, so have you noticed any difference with Pilates? I think she's been doing for maybe 18 months with me now. She goes, you know what? I've noticed a massive difference in my body. So the way that it's toned. She said, I've never had good abdominals in my life. She said, I was never built that way. And she said, but doing the Pilates, I've massively noticed the difference, because she used to suffer from a lot of sciatica and stuff like that as well. But it's just bits like that, the offset of not doing stuff like that, and the posture and having that body awareness and just having the different tone. Because for me, obviously I've had 2 children, I've been overweight before, but I'm probably in the best shape I've ever been, bar a little bit of a roll. We've all got a lockdown roll, okay? We've all got a slight lockdown roll, but I'm working on it.
You know what? It's like, you know, I love, like, because, I mean, like, I probably would say I was in the best shape of my life. I mean, I was super, super fit. I was in a different shape, and then in an even super fit shape, but I wasn't very healthy, if that made sense. But I feel like in a really healthy, you know, like a healthy position now, and it does feel good, doesn't it? It's like it's like a feeling of difference in a way. And
I think it's having that balance, because I've been like super fit before, where there was like no fat on my tummy, like nothing. But then I was clean eating all of the time. And that obviously comes, it's amazing. You feel great. But then when you do want to have a treat, you feel like crap for it. Like, do you know what I mean? So I found that balance where I can eat well and I prepare my meals well. But if I want to have popcorn on a movie night, or if I want to have a bar of chocolate, I will have the bar of chocolate. I just won't have it every single day. So I've found a balance now. So then I don't get cravings, because, you know, I eat it. If I want the cake, I eat it. I just don't have a huge slice. I'll have a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So it's stuff like that. And this is where I feel so much better for it. Because, obviously clean eating, you feel amazing. But, you know, there are tasty things in life.
It's almost like, I don't know what I used to say about it. It was like, I don't know, for me, it was almost like a punishment in a way. It was almost like a kind of, you know, and you really hit the nail on the head when you would eat something, you go, oh my God. And that is the thing that we really need to get away from, that guilt and shame, because that is because
I still make myself feel bad now, not as much anymore, but like if I'll have like, I don't know, more chocolate than I should have. But then I speak to other people, obviously they're not healthy, but I speak to other people and they're like, oh yeah, I had this whole tub of ice cream and I make myself feel bad. You're greedy, and I make myself feel bad. It's like, I'm going to have my chocolate. I'm going to eat my chocolate, because I know 90% of the time I'm healthy. Do you know what I mean? So if that 10% I'm slipping a little bit, or I have a few extra drinks or whatever, I don't do it every single day. And I've just got to that point now where I feel a lot more comfortable in myself, a lot more comfortable with my eating. Obviously, you know, I'm human, so you have those days where you probably eat a little bit more crap than you should. But in general, most of my meals are home prepared, especially like my dinners and lunches and stuff. So I don't make myself feel as bad about it anymore.
But that's the thing. No one should feel bad at all about anything that they put into their body. And I really, truly believe it's like kind of like deep diving into the narratives that are like literally behind it. Because we all have narratives. We all have like stuff that people have said to us, stuff that people have told us, and it's the narratives that kind of keep us there. It's a narrative that keep us there. And then to kind of like up level from that, we have to kind of like go to those narratives and go, bye, because you're no longer here anymore.
And
work through those narratives. And there is a lot of guilt and stuff, isn't there, going on, you know, in a lot of people. But this is not what we want to end on. We don't.
No.
We want to end on kids, because we've both got kids. We both lost with a lockdown. We were chatting about it loads. So if anyone's watching this right now, like, you know, did you lose your shit with your kids over lockdown or anything like that? Because that can affect our body as well. You know? It
does. It massively does. Massively does.
I think we were talking about kiddies and tantrums. Do you remember? Like, kids had a tantrum. I know from my point of view, my child had a tantrum, and I was wondering, why is he tantruming? Until later, when I was tantruming myself.
Yeah. When you see yourself reflected back, and you're like, oh gosh. Sometimes my daughter, she just flips out, and I look at her, I'm like, are you for real? Like, really? Or they've just got to this point where they're fighting over the smallest little things. I'm like, it was a sticker the other day, a sticker. My son wanted to draw the sticker, not on the sticker, draw the sticker. And my daughter was like, that's my sticker. Ah! I look, I'm like, he wants to draw the sticker. You're not going to do anything with the sticker. But that's what, they're like this, back and forth. I was like, go away, man. What's wrong with you? It's a sticker. It's a sticker. And then the other day it was a car, and there was, you wouldn't believe, there was 30 cars on the floor. They're fighting over one.
That's one. And this is the exact same thing. This is why we get along so well, is because I have the same stuff. Like, they don't want the toy or the thing. They just don't want the other person to have the toy.
I have it. Yeah.
And sometimes, you have to like kind of navigate through those things. And you know, like there's always, I think, like, kids are just so amazing, and there's always like a kind of, you know, like with the tantrum and stuff, there's sometimes that mirror, isn't there? We always see that mirror between us and them.
And it's the freakiest thing ever.
yeah. And then when you go,
you see your behavior reflected back.
Yeah, and then you do something, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, that's why.
Because for me, especially, I used to suffer from anger issues. So I was very controlling of my environment. And then I used to get really, really ticked off if anything didn't go a certain way. And then I learned about it through my personal development. But then as I was learning through it and I was calming down, my son had learned the behavior. Yeah. So then I was then seeing my behavior mirrored back to me. But while I was trying to be calm, you're just like, really? You're going to try and push me? You're trying not to be angry, but the other person is angry. And you're just like, this is torture. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But then because I learned, I then had to coach him through it. And it's that thing, isn't it, that you learn better when you teach others. So you learn it first, then you teach it to someone else, and then it will stick with you more.
Absolutely.
And then, I've just had but it was just, it was nuts. Absolutely nuts. I was just like, how am I supposed to say calm when you're now losing your shit every second? Like, what the hell? Like, over everything. But he's a bit older now, so I'm kind of just trying to coach him through reaction and response. Because he's a very reactive, like this. And I'm just like, okay, there's a difference between reaction and response. I said, the reactive is like a knee jerk. You're not thinking about it. I said, give it a second and then think about how you respond. And then now I say to him, remember, respond, not react. He goes, oh, sorry, mommy. Because he realizes. So it just gives him that second, because I want him to kind of learn before he hits those teenage years, because he's going to be 10 in August. So I want him to learn to be able to control the emotions a little bit more before all the testosterone kicks in.
Absolutely, you know, absolutely. And I can completely resonate with you on this, because like, I think even like a change in my own behavior is like just seeing like, you know, like a different kind of, you know, like I sit down with them and go, what do you need? What is it that you need right now? Because the reaction then is coming, the behavior is coming from the need, isn't it? So I'm like, going, what do you need right now? And then they'll go, I want this. And I'm like, yeah, I know you want that, but what do you need? And they kind of don't get it at first, but I have to kind of go question around. I don't know about you, but you question around circles until you get it in the end. And they go, well, I just want you to like spend a little bit, you know, I want you to do something with me, or I want you to come and play outside, or do you know what I mean? Or I want you to come and take me to school this morning. And I'm like, okay, you could have just said that in the first, but it's the articulation, isn't it? It's not being able to.
So they just don't know how to interpret it, do they?
But that's the thing. I think when you, like, I'm working through a lot of anger issues, and when you work through them, it is like that learning to articulate ourselves in a different way. So, like, say, because what I would usually do is, I would go, don't want to talk about that now. Can't bother to talk about that now. And it's like, all that I want to say to him is, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can't put it into words. That's it. You just don't know.
I don't know what you want me to do. Right? But yeah, I think, you know, like the more we do that, the more like they can go, I don't know. I don't know what to do. My little and now goes, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know about that. And it's so beautiful.
Oh, bless.
When you see those things. But I know you spend a lot of time with your kids as well. You know, like you have movie nights with them. You do a lot of stuff with them. I think that's beautiful to be able to, because the thing is, like, we always go on about, you know, time to do exercise, time to do these things. And because it might get in the way of the kids. Mm-hmm. But that's not the case, is it?
No. I think it is just about making that time, isn't it? Because we've all got that choice with how we decide to spend our day. Although, again, kids, every time you want to actually do something for yourself, or you're doing, like, I don't know what it is, like little certain things. I'll be in the middle of something, Mummy, and you're like, hold on a minute, I've been free for ages. And now the 1 minute I'm doing something, you're like, Mummy, come and look at this. You're like, huh? What?
It's when you do
their timing is terrible.
You go out with the phone.
Oh no, my son takes, oh my God, don't. My son takes full advantage. He'll start handing me notes. Can I go on the laptop? You're like, what? I'm on the phone. So I've had to reiterate to him that technology is not a thing in this house. Like, no, because they get overload of it on the weekends when they go with their dad. I let them have a little bit, but it got to the point where he was asking for it every day. And I was like, but that's not a thing. Go and play with your Lego. Go and do some coloring. Go do some drawings. Go do some reading. Like, stimulate your mind. Like, come on. But yeah, no, I think it's very easy for them to kind of get into that lazier headspace where it's easier for them. Oh, I'm bored. And you're just like, okay, mate, but you're really creative.
Yeah.
And you're really clever when it comes to Lego. But I haven't seen you do it for ages. But then you're sitting there telling me you're bored and you want to watch TV. Go and get your Lego. And he's like, oh, okay. So I'm just I can see the imagination is slowly starting to waver as he's getting older. But I guess I just need to keep encouraging it because he's so talented. And I don't want him to lose that because, you know, it's easier to put the TV on. It's easier to put the laptop on. But yeah, I've always been kind of very anti-technology with them. Obviously, their dad is easier. He's just like, yeah, go on, have it.
Yeah. Anything.
But then they've got the balance. Then they have the balance. So then the weekends they have it, and during the week they have it. They don't really have it. They have it very little. Yeah. And I prefer it like that because then I'm the one who has to deal with the mood swings that come after. And I'm just like, no, I just refuse.
That's the thing.
I refuse.
We started like turning it off, like like on a Sunday, it's like literally no internet whatsoever.
Yeah.
No goes on the internet. Nothing gets done. And like you, my eldest son, he's like 11. And he is coming into his teenagers and he's like, I'm bored, I'm getting upset, I'm bored. And then later on, because we've been walking out with the dogs in the moonlight, doing all these like different things, he went, you know what, I was really bored today, but I've had the best day ever. And I went, yes.
But that's where it comes from. It's just encouraging them to use their imagination because it's there.
Yeah.
And apparently, well, I've read something before that it's good for a child to be bored because then they're using their brain. to give themselves, to find something to entertain themselves.
Intuitive.
Like, yeah. Whereas if you just give in to them every time they say they're bored and you hand them technology, then that's it. That just gets smaller. That desire just gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're
going to end on this, but you know what? It's been just beautiful having you in the group this week as a collective member. What's it like being in the collective membership?
Oh, it's amazing. I love it. I know I've been rubbish with the with the couples meeting up on the Tuesdays, but in general, when I do get a chance to make it, it's amazing. And the ladies, the information, like there's just so much going on. I love it. With the exercises, I love the metaphysical approach you have on things. I've learned so much from you as well, and I think it's just great. I think it's great. I love it, and it's just such a nice space to be in. It's all women on a journey. We're all got our own journeys at the end of the day, but it's just nice when we kind of come together. And I really appreciate the support and everything that I get as well, which is amazing. When I do get to it. We're all busy. I'm starting to get busier at the moment.
Remember, you get to do this. You get to show up in the hub and everything, and you get to express your information to other people and share your knowledge to other people to then help them. Because the thing is, people are looking for help in different places, and it's really great just to share that information so they can find you. Yeah. And that's what I really love about doing all this. And obviously I'm gonna, I want you to come back again and come and share your knowledge again and be here again. And Leslie's on next week, Leslie Wells, and just and have you guys come in again. And that's what happens that's what happens when you're part of the collective now, and we're gonna have experts in for you, to help all of you guys, because the thing is, and me too. I always even though we're experts in what we do, it doesn't mean like we go, I fucking know it all now.
No. We're always learning. And also, just I know it's a shameless promo. I've actually announced my new date for my pelvic floor course today. So the next one is going to be on the 25th of April.
So we're going to
if anyone does actually want to get involved in the 4-week course, if they got incontinence issues, and there's suffering with anything in that area, reach out. I can send some more information to you, so you can see if it's a fit for you. And happy to have a chat if you've got any questions, stuff like that. But I'm so excited because the ladies, I think it's week 4. God, I'm thinking it's Saturday today. It's not, it's Friday. It's week 4 on Sunday. It's because the kids are gone. I'm like free. I'm free. I think it's Saturday. The kids are gone. I'm free in the world. This Sunday is our final week. And then the ladies get moved on to the functional program that they get after that. So they can incorporate everything that they've learned into functional exercises, and then incorporate that into their day-to-day life. So it's pretty amazing to see the transformation that the ladies are having already, just alone in 4 weeks. In general, if you are having issues, depending on obviously severity, it can take up to about maybe 16 weeks of consistent work to really, really kind of hone in on it. At the end of the day, you want to be consistent, and I'll kind of share something with you ladies. You need to work your pelvic floor every single day. We have to. It's one of those things. It's not just, you do it for 4 weeks and then you stop, because again, with any muscle, it will get weaker if you don't work it. And, if you feel that potentially, even if you don't have any issues at the moment, but you would like the education, so that you can be in the best position when it does come to having issues, or you completely eliminate having any issues because you've got the knowledge and you're doing your pelvic floor exercises already, then just reach out and I'll be more than happy to have a chat with you ladies.
We're going to put some links above as well, so you can actually get on it and you can actually connect with Charlotte as well. So make sure you reach out to her, because I know obviously for some people it's quite a personal issue. But from a metaphysical point of view, we're looking at, and this is like if you're finding that you're lacking creativity at this moment in time and you need more creativity, if you are in the position where you want to manifest more money into your life, though, you know, that's what happens when you start working your pelvic floor. So,
yeah,
you know, when your pelvic floor is strong, everything else starts to kind of like fit around that as well. So have a look at like maybe your chakras. I think, Charlotte, you do chakras, right? You know your chakras and stuff as well.
I don't at the moment, but do you want to hear something? Well, it's something very, very new. I started training to do Reiki.
What?
I know. So it's still really, really new. So it's only probably since last week I started training to do Reiki, so I can do it on myself. And then also I will work into doing with others as well. So yes, I'm transitioning it in towards chakras. So it's really, really exciting.
Oh God, because I'm going to be doing it too, Reiki.
I love it.
So
it's so amazing. It's so amazing.
Some beautiful like things that we can like fit in. Charlotte, I'm going to chat to you because I reckon maybe you can do something for my mastermind or something that I'm setting up. So I think we need to chat after this, but we're going to end today. And thank you so much for being our member of the week.
Thank you for having me.
Post as well for, you know, for the rest of the day, you know, if you've got anything that comes up that you want to share with people. But yeah, thank you so much. And anyone who's watched this right now, I know there's someone who's watched this today. Thank you for watching. Let us know, you know, what you think. We're going to take this video, we're going to actually upload it next week to the social media switch off on YouTube. So if you don't follow the social media switch off already, go check it out because there's some really great interviews on there, like Charlotte, like Emma, and like, you know, loads of other people. So thank you so much. Right, I'm going to say bye and end the broadcast.
Thank you, ladies. Have a fab bank holiday as well.